guys, it's Pico and welcome back to the channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you can be notified every time I post a new delicious video. Today we're just going to be going over one of my favorite cookie decorating techniques, and that is the wet on wet technique. This technique is actually really easy to do and it will definitely enhance the look and overall appeal of any decorated cookie. We're going to start off with a little chit chat about consistencies, then we are just going to move right on to decorating. So let's just jump right into this video. Our first consistency is this really smooth and creamy stencil consistency. It is the consistency of about peanut butter. It spreads, as you can see, very clean and very easily. This is perfect to place on top of your stencils to get a perfect image. It's not too stiff, but it definitely holds its shape. Our next consistency is this even creamier and what I like to call a loose detail consistency. As you see, it has elasticity with some soft peaks. This is what I like to use to write with because it kind of floods into itself, but not too much. It'll hold its shape, but not completely. It's just right there in the middle. It's about a 40-second consistency icing. Our next consistency is just straight blood. This is very, very liquidy. Mine is actually a little too smooth. You do want to have about a 15 to 20 second. Mine, like I said before, is a little bit too watery, but this is the consistency that we're actually going to be using the most today. It does not hold its shape. It melts into itself very, very quickly and very, very easily. And it is the perfect consistency to use when we are doing things like wet on wet technique. And that is actually the first consistency that we are going to start with. I am going to outline this cookie first with that blood consistency royal icing. And then in the middle, I'm also going to create this little squiggle design. It does not have to be specific, but just something abstract. And I am just going to fill that in again with some blood consistency royal icing. And then outside this shape, I am just going to fill in again with another color of blood consistency royal icing. What this ends up doing is giving us the nice smooth surface of a single layer of blood consistency royal icing, but we get the added interest of having multiple colors. Now, as you can see here, my little squiggle design kind of lost some of its shape when I added in that other color. And that is another beautiful thing about using the wet on wet technique. I can just go back in with a little bit more of my desired color and kind of fix this shape up a little bit to what I feel is my desired look. Once everything is dried, then I'm going to head over to my projector, and now I am taking that loose detail consistency that we were talking about earlier, and I am just going to start outlining these little letters right here that I am projecting onto this cookie. And once that is dried, I am going to take a little bit of Everclear to some gold luster dust, and using a very tiny paintbrush, I'm just going to paint only the first letter in each one of my words on this particular cookie. And there we go. Our next cookie is a little bit more involved. We again are going to start off with that nice blood consistency icing, and we're going to outline and we're going to fill. Now for this cookie, we are not going to fill it in completely. I am leaving a lot of space in this one. As you can see, I'm just going to take my scribe and work that in so it's a nice solid layer, because we're going to be adding way more colors and we don't want this to overflow. So now that we got a nice base, I'm going to take this cream colored blood consistency royal icing, and I'm just going to add some random blobs onto my cookie. It really doesn't matter where you put them, just as long as it feels good to you. And I'm going to take a darker pink blood consistency icing, and I'm just going to add some outlines around this to give us a nice little cheetah print. And last, I'm just going to add some more detail in here to make everything look a little bit more filled and interesting. And once everything has dried, I'm going back to my projector again using that loose detail consistency royal icing. And I'm going to start adding the number 30 onto this cookie because this is a 30th birthday gift. And once I've gotten everything filled in and it has had a chance to dry, then I'm going to go back in with some more Everclear and Luster Dust in a small paintbrush, and I am just going to fill it all in with a little bit of color. Our last and final cookie, and absolutely my favorite, is this little rectangle here. I'm starting out with some of that flood consistency icing with a diagonal line down the middle. And then I'm just going to outline and fill in half of this cookie. Then I'm going to grab some blood consistency light pink, and I am just going to outline the other half of this cookie and fill it in as well. Now, like I told you before, my blood was absolutely too liquidy. As you can see, it is dripping all off the cookie. But once everything has dried, I am now taking this gorgeous stencil and I am using my Stencil Genie, and I am going to place the stencil inside so I can start imprinting this image onto my cookie. Now we are going to take that black that we used earlier, that nice stiff stencil consistency icing. I'm placing a little bit on a scraper, and I am just going to scrape some of this over top of my cookie on this stencil. Now what we want to do is work this icing over top and then scrape off the remainder until we can actually see the image of the stencil underneath the royal icing. Once it looks like this, it is perfect. The image is going to be on the cookie exactly how we want it. And I'm just going to finish it off with a little bit of sparkle. I have some jewel dust here in a nice little pump. And look at this, guys. It is gorgeous. The final step for this one is a little bit of projection. We're going to get that loose detail consistency icing again, and I'm going to add some letters. You can add whatever you want to your cookies. This is actually a specific gift for someone. But that is it, guys. All done. Well, that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.